The first person that will go will be Matt, and then we'll go to Jassy. For the individual Q&A, I do ask everyone to make sure it pertains to the individual. We do have a group question section. So if you do ask a question in the individual doc that we see is more fit for the group, we will move it down to the group Q&A, which will be later on. Each individual Q&A section will be 5 minutes long, and then going into the group Q&A, which will be 10 to 15, depending on time. I don't remember, I think it's 10, but yes. Okay. Me too, so I need to go this up. My first question for you is, as someone who has been on board for 2 years, how would you handle burnout for your hypothetical third year on board?
In my 2 years on board, I have experienced my fair share of burnout. But what I use to mitigate it is vulnerability. I know you guys might seem like, vulnerability sounds like a weakness, but also for me, it's essentially like a strength, because being able to depend on others and be able to delegate tasks that you wouldn't be able to do yourself is a strength in and of itself. And also being dependable and having communication with your peers can essentially mitigate burnout from happening in the first place. Thank you.
The next question for you is, how do you plan to involve academics more within the mentorship program and implement your ideas with the mentors and mentees?
To involve academics more into the mentorship program, I would like to let them sit on with me on the interviews, like I emphasized earlier, in person, so they can get a sense of what the mentors are and what their energy is going forward, and finding that energy and matching that with a mentee or potential mentees at the end of the day. Thank you.
As someone who did not intern before applying for board, did you have any future plans for internship before you were appointed? Yes. So before applying for appointed board and seeing your future on MEP, did you have any plans for that new position before you became appointed?
So some plans I would like to highlight that I had earlier that I didn't elaborate on as much for internship was to implement a system where I can use the positions that the intern's preference before their acceptance as consideration into their entrance into the internship. To reiterate or to elaborate, if 3 people have the same four position preferences, I would take into consideration that and also their qualifications and pick the most qualified out of the 3 of them, or yes. So I would, So for example, if 4 people had the same 4 preferences, I would choose the one that had the most qualifications and the most aligned, that had the most views aligned with what I want the internship to be going forward. Thank you.
IVP more than just a mentorship lab and internship program. So as an executive role, what qualities do you possess that would fit this position?
Some qualities that I do hold personal is my humor. My sense of humor kind of lights up the room, and I believe it kind of brings this interpersonal experience with Gen Mems, board members, and just anyone around. But for Fusion, I believe that my humor can let people in and like provide a sense of community that they didn't have before, because that's what Fusion provided for me, and that's what I want to give back and give more. Also, my interpersonal skills with people and just going out and putting myself out there, even as social director or even before, allowed me to get to know people on a deeper level and kind of see what they want out of Fusion and what they want out of this club. And putting that into IVP will definitely benefit, because what makes Fusion, and at the core of Fusion, is our general members. So I want to emphasize that. And also, knowing when to be serious and assertive is one of the qualities I do have. And being serious at times where it needs to be can show a strong character and show people that you are dependable and have values that you want to uphold when the time comes. Thank you.
As someone who isn't a STEM/engineering major, how do you plan upholding the engineering program?
So, a lot of people might not know this, but I did have 2 years. My first 2 years were in aerospace. Although they were all lower dips, I was in FEP for 2 years, so I did see most of what the inner workings were, and just being a general member within FEP, I saw what I could provide if I were still an engineering major, but I can still provide as an IVP, because those 2 years of experience didn't just disappear. You know, I still have that FEP experience, and just building the robot my first year, and then building the Roomba my second year. The Roomba my second year kind of helped me like have this sense of engineering, even though I switched majors later on. Yeah.
This will be your second to last question. What are some of your weaknesses and how will you overcome them when being asked?
So one of my weaknesses previously, and I'm still like kind of working through it, is my time management. I did working through the last few years of being in college kind of showed me that using external tools like Google Calendar and Notion can help me kind of time myself in a way that I can show other people or like put new things there that I need to work on. So as IVP, I will schedule and emphasize that and put that forward for the next year. Sorry, can you repeat the last part? Okay. Sorry.
So for our last question, definitely think very in depth about this, so it's taking some time. But if you could switch bodies with anyone on the board and the experience, who would it be and why?
Loki Chloe. Loki my co, because like, you know, if you guys saw my appreciation post yesterday, like how much I appreciate her, how caring, how loving she is. Even like just meeting my co this year, I want to feel how it feels to be in that bond, you know. I mean, not being a supervisor, but yeah. No, please. Yeah. Thank you, everyone.